Hey there, how's everybody doing today? So today's topic is the Canon LTM 100mm f3.5 portrait lens. I recently did a shoot with a lovely model in a park in Tel Aviv, and I shot 2 rolls of Fomapan and recently developed and processed the images. And I was very, very impressed with the results. This is just a real winner of a lens. And it has a lot going for it. Several things. First of all, it's very small. It's extremely light. And it's got, the clickless aperture from 3.5 down to 22. As is typical for lenses of that period, the markings get a little closer as you progress, but again, that's typical for 1950s era lenses. This is reasonably smooth. Focus, nice and smooth. It's a very, very long focus throw. Check that out. It's quite the focus throw there. And a great thing about this lens on the P is that the P comes with 100mm frame lines built in. And I'm not sure if they're parallax corrected. I probably should have looked that up before doing the video, but what I can tell you from experience is I had no framing issues with this setup whatsoever. There was no images where the subject was out of frame or had her head cut off or anything like that. She appeared in frame just as I intended when I shot the images. So if the frame lines aren't parallax corrected, then it's just not an issue, frankly. So another advantage to this setup. It's got I lost a lens cap years ago. I have no idea what happened to the lens cap. But it does have this one at least has a UV filter in the ever so convenient 34mm size. Check it out, 34mm UV filter. Back in the day, camera manufacturers just did not, they didn't standardize their filter threads. They would just make a lens, and the filter thread was whatever it just happened to come out as. Although a lot of Canon rangefinder lenses were standardized for a 40mm filter thread, and to my knowledge, those are the only lenses ever to use that filter thread, and it's very, very difficult to find filters for them. I have no idea no clue where I found this 34mm UV filter. I've been looking for a polarizing filter in this size, and not holding my breath for that. Although, even without the polarizer, I've still got some very good results in direct sunlight, which is a bit of an accomplishment. I was very impressed with the rendering. The sharpness is good enough. Most of the shots, if not all, were shot wide open at f3.5, because if you're shooting portraits at 100mm and your maximum aperture is 3.5, I mean, in all likelihood, you're going to shoot at 3.5. But the rendering was just gorgeous. I mean, if you showed these images to someone and asked, were these images shot with a 57-1.4 or an 85mm f1.8 or 100mm f3.5, you would not guess the 100-3.5. You really wouldn't. It just has a really, really nice, smooth, lovely, dare I say it, vintage style rendering to it, which I found very, very appealing for portraiture. I do not believe these lenses are terribly expensive, though I can't tell you for certain. I did not buy this lens. I inherited it. This lens was purchased by my father at the Air Base PX in Japan around about 1958. And I really haven't done much with it. I sort of took it for granted for years. I mean, I didn't pay much attention to it because the maximum aperture was 3.5. It's a little skinny, little dinky thing. It's not particularly impressive looking. That was my mistake. I mean, I've been missing out for years. This was the first time, I think, that I shot a model with this lens. I believe that's true. I think, in fact, I'm almost positive that's true. But Dad bought this lens in the service, and here I got a little trivia to show you guys. Here is the Air Officer's Guide from the 1950s that was given to U.S. Air Force officers of the period. This is Dad's identification card, U.S. military identification card for his air base in Japan, and it was issued in October of 1957, which is when he arrived. And so the lens and camera, well, not this camera, but the 5 series camera I've gotten, I think I featured in another video about wrinkled shutter curtains. This lens and that camera were purchased together by my father during his tour of duty, and that was probably roughly 1958. So I will upload those images to Flickr and put a link down below. Have a look at them. I think you'll be fairly impressed. If you are in the market for a LTM rangefinder, although these are easily adapted to M-mount as well. So if you're in the market for a good rangefinder portrait lens, I don't think these are terribly expensive. And I mean, as rangefinder lenses go, you know, they're not that uncommon, and they're definitely worth looking at. The aperture has clickless stops, so if you're doing mirrorless video and you're looking for something in this focal length, that's a big plus. Not that I want to encourage mirrorless folks to suck up all the awesome vintage lenses, but you know, I have nothing personally against mirrorless people. This lens is marked with the EP indication, or the EP diamond, indicating that it was sold on a U.S. military base in Japan. I believe EP, I think that's what the EP means. It may just mean it was an export model, but I'm pretty sure that most, if not all, of the EP marked diamond marked lenses of the period were sold at a PX shop on a U.S. military base. Okay, I think that's about all I've got for you today. Oh, wait, no, wait a minute. Let me show you the case. Oh, here, check this out. So the lens comes with this groovy little case here. You know, this is the like stuff they don't make anymore. I mean, it's got the nice felt lining. It's really, it's just beautiful. It's really nicely done. And you just don't see stuff like this anymore. I mean, it's nice and snappy, hard leather. Got the got the logo and the focal length embossed on top of it. It's just, you know, nice little touch, nice touch. You know, it's not a do or die, but you know, it's one of the nice aspects of collecting this old stuff. Okay, so that's what I've got for you today. Have a look at those images. I'll put the link down below. And if you did enjoy the video, please subscribe and click the like button. And as a courtesy to my subscribers, I do not monetize my videos for 30 days following their release. So if you would like to subscribe and click the notifications bell, you can see all of my content commercial free for 30 days following the live date. Thank you so much. Glad to have you along. Take care now. Bye-bye.